Hey, what's up? Hello, my name is Emma, and today I am doing a book haul on the beach. It has been really nice in New York the last couple of days, and I thought what better way to celebrate the nice weather than to bring all of my books to the beach and do a book haul for you guys. Now, there are two things I'm going to ask you guys to ignore for this video besides the inevitable squinting that will happen because of the sun. The first is my broken nail, and the second is this beautiful uneven sunburn I have because I don't know how to apply sunscreen properly. So we are going to be starting off this book haul with a really exciting unboxing! As a note, this video includes a paid promotion with Disney Book Group, so thank you so much to Disney Book Group for sponsoring this video and sending me this super exciting box of Rick Riordan goodies. If you're unaware, the third book in the Trials of Apollo series, The Burning Maze, has just recently come out on May 1st, so Disney Book Group has sent me the super exciting box of Rick Riordan related goodies that I cannot wait to dive into. Alrighty, so it appears the first item in here is a tote bag. It says Summer of Magic and Mazes, hashtag Read Riordan. This is like the perfect summery book tote. I love the colors because it reminds me of the beautiful sun that's shining down on me right now. So in here we have a copy of The Burning Maze by Rick Riordan, and what's super exciting about this edition is it is signed, which I am so excited about. So I don't personally know too much about the Trials of Apollo series. I haven't started it yet, unfortunately. I know I'm like really behind. I've been told a lot of people recommend reading the Heroes of Olympus series before starting the Trials of Apollo series, which I just haven't gotten to yet, but I will eventually because I love Rick Riordan's books so much. What I do know about the Trials of Apollo is it follows the god Apollo, who has recently been cast out of the mountain of Olympus by Zeus and is forced to live as a normal teenage boy in the city of New York. As one can assume with most Rick Riordan books, it is just filled with hilarity and mischief and quests and monsters and mortals and demigods, and it just sounds like a fantastic series that I am definitely going to have to pick up soon. And the next three books in here are the newly designed covers of the Katy Chronicles by Rick Riordan. So that includes the Red Pyramid, the Throne of Fire, and the Serpent's Shadow. I think we're all well aware that Rick Riordan has written some fantastic mythology books, and the Katy Chronicles follows Egyptian mythology. So our main characters' names are Carter and Sadie, who have been nearly strangers since their mother's death, as Sadie lives in London with relatives, and Carter has been traveling the world with the Egyptologist named Dr. Julia Kane. So when Dr. Kane brings these siblings together for a research experiment, and Carter hopes that this is his chance to make things right, they unfortunately release the Egyptian god named Set, and the children are forced to run for their lives. And so Carter and Sadie set out on this journey across the globe to stop Set from destroying the Kane family. Like the Trials of Apollo and the Heroes of Olympus, the Kane Chronicles are some Rick Riordan books that I have definitely been wanting to get to over the years, so again, thank you to Disney Book Group for sending them to me. And so the final book in this unboxing is the Brooklyn House Magician's Manual, your guide to Egyptian gods and creatures, glyphs and spells and more, which is a companion novel to the Kane Chronicles. I actually have a book similar to this for the Magnus Chase series by Rick Riordan, but it is essentially just a nice little companion novelty book that delves into the history of all of the Egyptian gods and some of the magic that is included in the Kane Chronicles, which I think is like such an awesome book for fans of these books. So thank you again to Disney Book Group for sending me all of these amazing magical Rick Riordan books and items. It is definitely going to be a summer of magic and mazes. So the first book that I bought in the month of April is Ace of Shades by Amanda Foody, which is a new April release. I feel like I have been talking about Ace of Shades for months now because it was one of my most anticipated releases of 2018, but additionally I do have a full spoiler-free review that you guys can watch, so I will link that down below. I actually went to Amanda's signing in Pennsylvania because I was just so hyped for Ace of Shades and I could not wait to see Amanda and get my book signed, so that was a really awesome experience I had this month. Now, if you have not heard me talk about Ace of Shades before, it takes place in a city called New Rains, otherwise known as the City of Sin. And while I myself, as well as many other people, have described it as being similar to Las Vegas, at the signing I learned it's actually inspired by Atlantic City. Our main character's name is Ensalta, and her adoptive mother has gone missing, so she travels to the city of New Rains to find her, with her only lead being a boy named Levi. As it turns out, Levi is one of the crime lords of New Rains, heading one of their major gangs, and he has no interest in helping out N, as he is involved in his own Ponzi scheme that is going really badly. obviously. But N has the one thing Levi needs right now, which is money. So she promises to pay him in order to help her find her mother. So the two of them go off and traverse New Rains trying to find clues as to what happened to N's mother. And it turns out that Levi's enemies that he has created as a part of all of his scams catch up to him and bring him into this sort of execution game where the players bet their lives and you always lose. So N has to enter the game to save him, and I loved Ace of Shades so much. I would definitely check out that review if you want to hear my full thoughts, but I'm just blown away with this book. I'm obsessed with it. It's fantastic, and I would highly recommend. The next book I have for my April book haul is Monday's Not Coming by Tiffany D. Jackson, which was sent to me by Epic Reads, as this video is sponsored in part by Epic Reads. So thank you so much, Epic Reads, for sponsoring this video. Our main character's name is Claudia, and her best friend since childhood's name is Monday, and Monday has not turned up to school. But nobody seems to notice or really care that Monday has gone missing, and even Monday's mother won't give Claudia any information as to what's happened to her daughter. And as Claudia begins to investigate a little bit further, she finds out that nobody really knows the last time they saw Monday, and she begins to wonder how a young girl can vanish without a trace. Monday's Not Coming sounds like a really powerful, inspiring read. I'm always so excited to see more own voices Black literature being published, and I feel like it really is in the realms of The Hate You Give and Dear Martin, and I'm super hyped for this release. Monday's Not Coming is being released on May 22nd, and if you are someone like me that really loves these emotional, hard-hitting contemporaries, I feel like this is definitely one you'll want to keep on your radar. The next book on my April book haul is Lighter Than My Shadow by Katy Green. This book was actually recommended to me by my supervisor when I interned at the National Eating Disorders Association, and since then it just has not left my head, and I finally decided to pick it up. This is actually a graphic novel, not the type of book I typically read, but it's really the subject matter that draws me to this story. Truthfully, I don't really know much about the plot of this story. If I'm correct, it just follows this young teen girl throughout her years of adolescence, but I do know that it deals with eating disorders, sexual assault, and discovering your sexuality, which are all things that the author has had experience with. You know, I'm all about those own voices books. I'm very excited for this read. I think it's going to be something I'm really going to love, maybe something I will be able to relate to. It also is so heavy. I think I'm going to have to leave this one at home and just read it when I can, but also, although it is like a really long graphic novel, I was flipping through it and there are a lot of like very blank pages and pages that don't have a lot of content on it. So I don't think it'll be too dense of a read, but nonetheless, I'm really excited for this one. The next book that I bought in the month of April is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I bought this book because I was reading it through my library last month and it became one of my favorite books of all time, so I had to have my own copy. The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo follows this woman named Evelyn Hugo, who was a huge Hollywood starlet back in the day. As Evelyn is in her later years of life, she ends up hiring a very unknown journalist to write an article for their paper. But when Monique ends up at Evelyn's home, she says, "You're not writing an article about me, I'm going to tell you my life story and you are going to publish my biography after I die." So this novel is basically the story of Evelyn Hugo. It is about her Cuban heritage, her bisexuality, her life as a Hollywood starlet, and all of the seven husbands that she had throughout her life, and all of the different actions and situations that led her to this point she's at now. I loved The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. If you want to hear more about my thoughts, you should definitely check out my April wrap-up, but it is just so out of what I normally love to read, and it genuinely is like the greatest book I have ever read, and I'm so happy I read it. And as I have been in this unusual mood for adult books, I picked up an adult release that I have been really looking forward to reading, and that is The Power by Naomi Alderman. The Power seems like a really unique book. It is sort of like a near futuristic / science fiction novel about this time when teenage girls and young women are given the ability to cause electricity from their veins, and they are able to cause pain and death just by the touch of their finger. And based on the reviews that I've heard from other people, it's sort of like an examination of societal values and how society changes when women are in power opposed to men. I did actually start The Power on audiobook. I'm about 5 chapters in and I'm only just starting to get into the story. It was a little difficult difficult for me to grasp at first because it's just like so unlike what I normally read, but nonetheless, I'm enjoying it and I'm very excited to finish reading it. If you did not know, April is my birthday month and I recently turned 22, but I got a few really lovely gifts from some of you guys. The first being from Kimberly, who kindly sent me a copy of Let's Talk About Love by Claire Ken. So thank you so much to Kimberly for sending this to me. Now, I don't know a ton about the specific details of this book, but it has intrigued me for a very long time as it follows a Black and asexual main character. To my understanding, it is about this girl named Alice's summer. As she has recently broken up with her girlfriend, she's falling for one of her coworkers, and she's just getting into all of these different shenanigans and going through some identity development. Again, I don't really know the specifics of this novel, but I'm going to assume Alice is asexual and also not heteromantic, as it discusses her ex-girlfriend, but she ends up falling for her coworker, which is a boy, so that's another exciting element. I don't know, it just sounds like a really cutesy contemporary story, and it's been on my radar for quite a while, so thank you so much to Kimberly for gifting it to me. I really appreciate it. And the next two books that were sent to me for a birthday gift are from Vasilisa, so thank you so much to Vasilisa for sending me the Russian editions of Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy by Cassandra Clare. You guys know that I love collecting foreign editions of Cassandra Clare's books. I just find it so awesome that there are so many people around the world that get to read her books with all of these beautiful, amazing editions. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart to Vasilisa for contributing to this collection again. Vasilisa mentioned that she sent Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy to me because she thinks these covers are so cool compared to some of the other ones, and I have to agree, these are so awesome. I adore foreign covers of books so much, and especially the Shadowhunter Chronicles. So again, thank you so much to Vasilisa for sending them to me. I have a few more books that I did purchase in the month of April, but I also have two really exciting upcoming releases that I want to share with you guys. The next book is also sent to me by Epic Reads, so thank you so much to Epic Reads for sending me a copy of What If It's Us by Adam Silvera and Becky Albertalli. This is another one of my most anticipated reads of 2018. I can't tell you how hyped I am for this book. So What If It's Us follows these two boys named Adam and Ben, and they meet as Ben is on the way to the post office to mail off his ex-boyfriend's things. So after this meet cute, they get separated, but then they get reunited, and they go on this series of like failed first dates, and it's all about the universe bringing these two boys together who could really be meaningful to each other. I'm so excited for this book. If there has ever been a contemporary pair of authors that needed a collaboration, it was Adam and Becky, and I'm so excited that it's finally here and it's in my hands, and it will be out on October 9th, so definitely put this one on your TBRs if you guys are as excited as I am. The next book in my April book haul was sent to me by Simon Teen, so thank you so much to Simon Teen for sending me a copy of From Twinkle with Love by Sandhya Menon, who is the author of When Dimple Met Rishi. So our main character is an Indian teen named Twinkle who wants to be a filmmaker, and she feels her dreams are coming true when she is offered the opportunity to direct a film for an upcoming festival by a boy named Sahil, who happens to be Twinkle's longtime crush's brother. Over the course of filming, Twinkle is emailing back and forth with this person who refers to themselves as N, and Twinkle assumes it is Neil, her crush. So although it seems like everything is picture perfect and she's getting everything she could have ever wanted, things get a little bit more complicated when she realizes she might be developing some feelings for Sahil as well. So while I'm already excited for another Own Voices romance from Sandhya Menon because I really enjoyed her first one, this book is also told in letters from Twinkle to her favorite female filmmakers. So it's super feminist too, and I'm really excited for this one. Like I said last year, I felt When Dimple Met Rishi was my perfect summer contemporary read, and I feel like From Twinkle with Love will fill that for the 2018 year, and I cannot be more excited to read it. So we are getting down to the final few books that I bought in the month of April, with the first being Ash Princess by Laura Sebastian. This is a super epic debut fantasy novel that I have been extremely excited for months, and I'm really happy it's finally in my hands. In our main character named Theodosia's youth, her kingdom was invaded and her mother, the Fire Queen, was murdered before her eyes, and she was given the title Ash Princess to wear as a prisoner under the new rule. And so as Theodosia has almost completely given up hope that she would ever reclaim her throne, she realizes that survival is no longer satisfying enough for her, and her mind is sharper than any weapon. And I'm just so hyped for this book, guys. I'm super, super excited to dive into this one. It's just been hyped in my mind for months, and I'm sure it will definitely hold through. So this book was actually hiding under my massive pile of books I have on my towel here, and I almost forgot about it, which would have been really, really sad. But the next book I bought in the month of April is Leah on the Offbeat by Becky Albertalli. If you did not know, Leah on the Offbeat is the final story in the Simon vs. universe, and it follows one of our beloved characters named Leah. Leah is bisexual, and she hasn't yet mustered up the courage to tell her friends, even her openly gay best friend named Simon. And so this story just follows Leah through her senior year with her group of friends at Creekwood High as tensions rise and things get more complicated. And it might end with Leah falling for one of her best friends. And I am just super, super excited for this book. I love Becky Albertalli's books. I love the Simon vs. world. And I'm super pumped for all of our favorite characters to be back and growing in different ways. And I really just cannot wait to read this one. The next book that I bought in the month of April is In the Woods by Tana. I shared this book in my A Very Bookish Day vlog, which I did some book shopping and went to book signings and all of the good stuff related to books. If you want to check out that vlog, I will leave it linked below. I bought this book because it was recommended to me by one of my favorite authors, AJ Finn, when I met him this past April in that video, and I just couldn't resist running to Barnes & Noble and getting myself a copy. Our main character's name is Rob, and as a child, Rob and his friends entered the woods, and for hours they were lost until Rob was the only surviving child found clinging to a tree, while the rest of his friends have never surfaced since. To correct myself, I said in my vlog that this book takes place in 1984. It doesn't. That's just when this situation with the woods happened. But now Rob is a detective, and he stumbles upon this case where these two girls are murdered. And as thrillers go, there is some connection between the murder of these girls and what happened to Rob as a child, because he cannot remember anything from what happened in the woods. I'm really excited for this read. I'm all about adult thrillers right now, and I've heard really great things about Tana French's work, and I'm just super pumped to read it. And so the final book that I bought in the month of April is Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter. I actually just recently finished this on audiobook, so I will be talking about it in my May wrap-up. So Pretty Girls follows two sisters, Claire, who is the wife of a millionaire living a luxurious life, and Lydia, who is a recovered addict dating an ex-con and running her own business. And the two have not spoken in about 20 years, and their relationship has always been plagued by the fact that their sister Lydia went missing when they were children and has never been found. But it is the death of Claire's husband that brings the two of them together for the first time in decades, and they sort of reunite to find out what has happened to Claire's husband, how it is connected to their sister Julia, and all of the absolutely unbelievable things that connect the two. I don't even know how to talk about Pretty Girls yet, so I'm glad I have a month to prepare for my wrap-up, but it is just the most violent, disturbing, horrifying thriller I have ever read. It's really sickening, but I loved every second of it. I had such a great time reading Pretty Girls, and I will totally be reading more of Karen Slaughter in the future. Definitely let me know in the comments below what were your favorite books that you read in the month of April, or what are some books you got this past month that you are super excited to read. I would love to know. But that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you soon for a new one. Bye!